That's it, and welcome to Victor Vern Sports Chat. I'm going.
I'm Vic, and welcome to the DEFCON Rugby Show, Monday edition. Big weekend we just had, Vern. Good games through all the leagues, in Japan, in France, I almost said Germany, in Japan, in France, in England, in the URC, and even there in the Super Rugby. Lots of games, lots of crazy results. We'll get into it one after the other. Before we get into the topics, let's put it that way. What's the DEFCON you're on today, Vern? What do you think where we are, man?
I'm not a happy camper, man.
You're not happy? Why are you not happy, man?
I mean, the Stormers won, but Sasha is terrible.
So you're more like get ready in the middle.
Yeah, I just
Or
read
you're more holy crap already.
No, I'm get ready. I just read Dion van Styl says the Stormers need a new number 10, and he's right.
Look, I think it's not good for this young oak to have all this hype around him, because you know how it is when you're young. I mean, we're all young. When people hype you up, you seem to believe the hype.
Yeah.
What was that song? Don't believe the hype. It's a sequel.
Public Enemy.
There you go, Public Enemy. Yeah. Look, Sasha's going the same way as Marnie.
Yeah.
And soon, you know how the fans are. You know how they are. I mean, I see it with you. You know how they are. They're up your arse, you're the greatest, they're putting candy floss up there, and then 2 or 3 bad games, and then all of a sudden they want your head, they want you to be sacked, they want you to be shipped off to Japan.
No, that's not true. Listen here, all we want is consistency.
But the consistency that people want from Sasha is not possible. That one game out of 100 that he plays like he's came straight from the heavens, you can't have that as consistency.
No. Listen here.
He is consistent at the moment. He's consistently cut.
I'm not talking about his playing game, his kicking game. He kicked twice a penalty, not into touch. I mean, fucking hell. Missed, I think, 3 conversions. Man, no.
So he's consistent the last few weeks.
Consistently cut.
Yeah, there you go. You just said you want consistency. You've got consistency. Maybe that is his consistent level, and then every now and then he has an outlier.
You know what? Carry on with the fucking show, man.
I said, you're getting depressed.
You're going to piss me off, man. You're going to piss me off. I'm going to get the mood in, and just carry on with the show.
So let's look at our topics. Of course, we're going to talk URC, Super Rugby, Gallagher Premier League, Top 14, and then, of course, the Japanese League. To all our Japanese friends out there, konnichiwa. To all our French, bonjour. To the English, what do we say to the English? Good afternoon, gentlemen and ladies. And to the people down there in the Super Rugby, good day, mates.
You can't say ladies and gentlemen because I don't feel like one, so...
Fuck you and fuck everybody else in the world. For me, there's men and women. My mother's my mother, my father's my father, and everybody else. Go take a fucking dump. But you know what? I can also... I've told the story a few times about that company in Seattle. I can also call everybody assholes because everybody has one. You might not have a penis or a vagina, but you've definitely got an asshole. So let's just call everybody assholes, you know? And we've got a few on this channel every now and then. You know? So let's get into the topics. Well, now we got into the topics. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button. The counter is not working at the moment. There it goes. Now, I just said it's not working and it started to work. Gee, that's voodoo. That's not good. That's not good. And if you want to get hold of the 2 dumb twats here, there's the email at the bottom. But let's start. You know what? Let's work backwards, forwards. Let's start with the Japanese League today. We'll start and then we'll get to the URC. So we'll keep the people interested. There you go. Look, you know what? Before I get the standings, there you go. Those were the results of the Japanese League this weekend. That Kubuta Spears Brave Lupus. Remember I was thinking about doing that game because I thought it could be an interesting one. 51-7. They got opgefokt, Vern.
Yeah, and I wanted to do the Sun Goliath against the Wild Knights. That would have been a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one. Good win there for the Wild Knights away from home. 36-34 against Cheslin and the boys.
But listen here. I just want to get into Chelsea scored a try. He had 5 penalty kicks and 2 conversions, man.
We don't have a fly-off problem, South Africa. We just have to put Cheslin there.
Chelsea kicks.
That way, we don't take Sasha with and we don't take Marnie with. We put Cheslin on the 10 and then we can take Cheswell Eustace with on the 14.
I can't play. Chelsea stays on the 14.
No, all problems are solved. I've solved all problems. That way I get my adopted son in the lineup. Cannon Eagles losing to the Verblitz 27-33. The Blue Revs losing to Kobe Steel 20-41. The Black Rams beat the Dino Horse 33-7. And the D-Rocks got demolished by my Mihonda Heat, because I love that team, 17-43. So yeah, good stuff. I want to show people out there some crazy stuff. This is the standings, right, ladies and gentlemen? This is the standings in the Japanese league. You got Kubota Spears at 1, Wild Knights at 2, Steelers at 3, and Koba and Tokyo Sun Goliath at 4. But that's not the playoff situation. But this is what the playoff situation looks like. Sun Goliath, they are only third in their conference, and only the 2 out of each conference make it. So yeah, crazy. So at the moment, it's you look at the Brave Loopers. They've got 26 points. There are two teams better than them, but those teams are not making the playoffs.
That's crazy.
Every country has different, laws and stuff like that. But this is the cut law. I mean, that's okay. You can have that in the NBA as well, right? You can be the 11th seed in the West with 46 wins, and the 3rd seed in the East only has 41 wins or something like that. You can have that, but yeah, I don't like it. I like the top teams to be in there, but it is what it is. So yeah, it's looking good there in Konnichiwa country. Sayonara to the Japanese. We'll leave that league now. But yeah, then Vern, one of your favorite leagues, the French league. Also some results there on the weekend, huh? Toulon,
crazy results.
Well. Are they saving their players for on Saturday against the Stormers? Or are they really that cuck and the Stormers actually have a good chance of going to Toulon and winning?
No, I think...
Sasha making kicks from 60 meters and stuff like that will all be in there.
No, I just think Toulon hasn't had a good season. So they're not as good as they were in the past, but they are definitely... I think they were prioritizing that European Cup thing, man.
I just saw SS is in the chat there. I forgot those photos. I'll be honest, they're coming out on Wednesday. Forgot to put them in there with the Yuruan Nokia. That was sensational there. So, yeah. But now look, Toulouse is actually, I said I got to change that name. I got to speak to the people in Toulouse. They got to call themselves To Win, because they're just too good, Vern. They are good, man. They're going to win the Investec Cup, I think.
Strongest team in the world.
I think so right now. Strongest club team in the world, definitely.
Yep.
Then Paul beating Racing 27-17. Union Bordeaux beating Lyon 21-17. Bordeaux has also started to pick up the pace now.
Yeah.
What a win for Perpignan against Toulon. I think your Stormers have got a chance, man. You've got a chance. Custers against Montauban. They're going down. Montauban 49-17. Pionnet against La Rochelle 26-15. And Stade Française yesterday evening. I watched a little bit of that on the French TV. 64-20. Unbelievable results. Look at the tables there in the Baguette League. Toulouse way out in front. One horse race. And then it gets close between Pau, Stade Française, Bordeaux, and Montpellier and Clermont. They're all still in the fight. But Vern, if you can't beat the 11th team in the French league with your Stormers, then you're a cup team, man.
Vic, it always depends who they send up north, man.
Well, you see, I think the Stormers should be sending the best squad possible.
I hope they do.
Because I think, look, it's a lot of money involved, you know, and it's prestige. So a South African team has never won the Investec Cup.
No.
You know, so lots to get into. Then after the French league, we got to go to the English league. Let me have a sip of water. There we go. I know Vern can't wait for the English Gallagher Premier League. It's one of his favourites there. Newcastle, Vern, still getting thrashed there. Butter Chamberlain, huh? 14-38 against the Exeter Chiefs. Gloucester got spanked by the Tigers, 36-17. The Harlequins, second from bottom, beating the Bears. Surprise, surprise. I guess Marcus Smith turned up this week, 18-14. The Saints keep on marching on. The Saints keep on marching on. There they go. They beat Saracens 21-17, and the Sharks lost to Bath 26-31. That Premier League is also the table. I mean, how the hell do Harlequins get to beat what's his name? The Bristol Bears. I can't understand that, Bern. I can't understand that one. But Northampton, Bath, definitely the strongest teams. What do you think?
Also, there you don't know who rested their players for the weekend.
Yes, because for these teams, not like the South African fucking teams that are a joke. These teams take this Investec Cup serious. It's the Champions League of rugby.
It is the Champions League of rugby, and they do take it seriously. And I wish the South African clubs would take it seriously too, man.
Okay, there you go. Then Super Rugby, and it was super this weekend. Look, we'll start off with the 60-minute game there between Moana and the Highlanders. That game only lasted 58 minutes and 30 seconds because there was a major power outage. You know, I thought they were load sharing like they do in Cape Town sometimes, but they weren't. It was a massive tropical storm, floods. The TV cameras went out, the lights went out, everything went out. There were lights out. And then they called the game after 58 minutes. Do you think that's fair just to call the game after 58 minutes? What would it have been after 58 minutes if it was, let's say, 1921?
Listen here, they've got rules for that stuff, and then the rules are the way it is, man.
But you know me, rules are there to be made to be broken.
Yeah, but they called the decision. They couldn't play. They couldn't continue playing the game.
No, it was dark, man. It was like, you know.
To reschedule it, find somewhere midweek. Nah. So I think it's the right decision.
Just come back the next day.
I think it's the right decision.
Play in the last 20 minutes. You know. But then, hey, big upset there. Brumbies losing to the Waratahs. I did that game. The Waratahs, the kicking from the Waratahs was freaking sensational. Sasha, you can take a book out of those boys' book. You know, you can learn something there. They were good. And Hurricanes destroyed the Reds, man. 52-14. That Hurricanes team. You said... Oh, I can't take that now. You said that the Hurricanes were... you said Toulouse, the greatest rugby team in the world right now. I'm putting the Hurricanes as number 2. I would like to see a matchup. The Hurricanes against one of these European teams should be very good.
Would be a good one.
Then the Blues against Drua.
Yeah.
Drua not doing well at the moment, man.
No.
And then the Western Force, they were forced to take an L in that one against the Chiefs. Chiefs didn't play well, but they got the win, and the Crusaders had the bye.
No, but the Force, the Blue, the Drua and the Moana.
Now, like I said, look at the table. The bottom 3 are definitely playing for the wooden spoon, and then the others are all fighting for those 6 spots that you have in the playoffs. The Hurricanes are looking monster strong, Boom. Monster strong. But it's good to see that the Aussie teams are also still in the playoff hunt. 3 of them, the Brumbies, the Reds, obviously, and the Waratahs are there as well. Big games. This weekend there's only 3 games because they to get the table back to, everybody having around about 7 games. I said at the beginning of my beginning of my year show where I was who's going to win the Super Rugby, I said the final was going to be Blues against Hurricanes and the Blues were going to win. So at the moment my tipping is not looking too bad. Not too bad at all. Now we move on. We move on, my friend. And
1 second. I just want to go to the chat quickly.
Okay.
Hi, Dan. Paddy's in the house. Lawrence, have a great, safe trip down there to Port Elizabeth. SS Stevens says they need to...
He lives in Cape Town, so you don't drive down to Port Elizabeth. You drive up to Port Elizabeth.
Or you drive east to Port Elizabeth.
East.
Steven says they need to work Chris Smith in the World Cup mix. That's a bit harsh. Have a lacquer week. Billy Joseph of Nigeria is in there. Good evening, bro. Good evening, Mbeli. Ronnie's in there. Yeah. Bruno Casanova says, ciao. Dion Foncel says, Stormers need a new number 10. Peter is in there. That's Peter from Namibia. They've got Brandon Mayers in there. Bulls look very strong again. Hill is in there. Super Rugby has been fantastic this season.
It has.
Dennis from Swakop. I think the Lions are going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, it will be the first time in their history.
And we got Heinrich Otters, this German. Guten Tag. Great rugby weekend we just had. Fantastic stuff, man.
So let's get into our last chapter for today, and that is the URC. Look, I did the Cardiff Sharks game on Friday. We won. We didn't get the bonus point, but come on. Man, my friend there, the Italian ref, was doing it to me. I was losing my freaking nut. You know, the day before I did the Super Rugby, and I had Angus Gardner, the ref. And I thought to myself, isn't this beautiful? You just watch a game and you have a ref that is under total control, knows what he's doing, doesn't waste time, clock is always ticking, the players respect him, he doesn't come up with stupid results. If he makes a mistake, he actually admits it to the person, listen, I got that one wrong. I blew my whistle too early. And then I got to watch this fucking Italian spaghetti eating twat. Oh, the Sharks are caught. He was terrible, man. He was fucking terrible. And then who? The Lions was what's his name? Holly Davison.
No.
Who? Of course, who reffed the Lions game?
That was...
I know it's the Bulls game she reffed. Sorry, I did that one. Yeah, the Bulls game. She was phenomenal again, you know. Good stuff. I mean, Steven's getting married to her. He was trying to propose at halftime. So there you go. But let's have a look at those results. So the Sharks keeping their slim hopes alive. Beating Cardiff 21-15. Warriors Vern, no problem against Benetton. So Benetton is done. Leinster Scarlets was never going to be anything else but that result. Bulls, I can't understand that. How can Munster lose 45-0 to the Sharks a week earlier and then go up to Loftus and pull off almost an upset? And that wasn't 34-21, it was 34-31.
31, yes.
Yeah. Connacht Ospreys. Connacht was also keeping their playoff lives very alive.
Definitely, yeah.
And then tell us about the Lions, man. The Lions were good again.
The Lions, you know, they are so much fun to watch.
They are. It's just a good team.
It's a team. It's they play with so much energy, and I must say, I love watching the Lions. It's such a shame that hardly anybody goes and watches them in the stadium.
I want that coach. I want Van Rooyen to come and coach my Sharks. If you give him the Sharks or the Bulls, he's winning the bloody URC because he's got them ticking over like a machine, man. He makes the Bulls and have got a game plan. The Lions.
And they played really well, solid. It was just fantastic. What a game to watch! It was fantastic.
And then your Stormers against Edinburgh. Tell us about the Stormers, man.
Now that was just the opposite. That was a fucking nightmare.
They won 33-40. What do you want?
No, that all just happened in the second half there, the last quarter of an hour. No, it was hard to watch. The Stormers made a lot of mistakes, a lot of handling errors, a lot of fumbles. And okay, let's get to the elephant in the room. I was going off my rocket. I was dissing Sasha. And it's not personal. It's not personal, Sasha. It's not personal. But missing 2 kicks to touch from a penalty, that just fucks up your game, Vic. And then you got twice, you can be there on the 5-meter line, but you don't get there because it doesn't make touch. He missed a couple of conversions, dropped a couple of balls. I don't know what's wrong with the guy, but he has since he got that big contract.
I think he reads the newspaper too much.
Most probably reads the newspaper too much.
Or social media telling him that he's the greatest rugby player on the planet.
He's not. I'll tell you something now. Even Henry Pollock at the moment is a higher level than Sasha.
Damn, that's going far, man. But I'm not telling you, don't worry. The good thing
he's a liability at the moment for the Stormers.
Don't think the good thing for all Springbok fans out there, Pollard is on the ascendance again. He is starting to score like befocht again.
Yeah, but who played well for the Stormers was Evan Lewis. He played really well, scored 2 tries. Fantastic stuff. And then, of course, the 39-year-old Dion Fourie played well as well. I was like, what's this old man doing on the clock? What's he doing on the play? You know? Why don't they have a 22-year-old that can play loose forward? But I don't know.
Not good. Let's have a look at the tables of the URC because it's tough. There's no URC this weekend. Don't forget it is Investec Cup. They're on a 2-week break for the URC now. So the Warriors and the Stormers look very much guaranteed a playoff spot. Yeah, I think it is already. Ulster, Leinster should make it. The Lions are in 5th, Vern. They are the second best SA team at the moment, ahead of Cardiff and the Munster. Then the Bulls are in 8th, Connacht there in 9th, and the Sharks in 10th. The Ospreys don't think got a chance anymore. The Sharks will have to win out to get in, which I don't think is going to happen. Look, Connacht, I don't know. The Bulls are going to be careful there. The Bulls, but they got a good run in at the end. When they got a good run in.
But listen here, I think the next URC is on the 16th of April, right?
I can tell you right now. 1 second.
It's going to be a great game there. It's going to be the best game ever.
Oh my!
It is the Lions against the Glasgow Warriors, Vic. And that game's going to tell us a lot.
Well, all I know now is that in the Investor Cup on this weekend, and we'll get into that on Thursday, but the Investor Cup on the weekend, the Bulls are going to the Warriors. You do know that.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
And I'll tell you, the next 17th of April is the next URC. The Bulls go to the Dragons, so the Bulls will win that one. Connacht going to the Stormers. So if you're a South African, you're hoping the Stormers win that because that could help the Sharks and the Bulls. And the Lions at home to the Warriors. I think the Lions win that. I don't think the Warriors will send everybody down after the Investec Cup and stuff like that. And then the Sharks have got to go to the Ospreys. The Ospreys are behind the Sharks. So, do we have another 4-win South African weekend? I don't know. But if we get another 4-win South African weekend, then it's looking really good for the playoffs, Vern.
It is looking good for the playoffs, yeah.
But you know what? Being a Sharks fan, I personally would sacrifice my Sharks making the playoffs if the Lions make it.
Where can I sign up?
No, because I think the Lions just deserve it. If you look at the teams the Lions have got, they've got what have they got? 3 Springboks if they're lucky.
Yeah.
There you go. They don't have the talent of the Sharks. They don't have the talent of the Bulls. But they've got an unbelievable fucking coach that works miracles. He's got the team playing with intelligent rugby. They don't make a lot of mistakes. Their ball handling is good. Everybody knows what they have to do. They're a well-oiled machine. This coach, I don't know how long he's still going to be with the Lions. I think he gets a job somewhere else soon for a big team.
Yeah. Listen, he is good. And he, like you said, he does miracles with that Lions team. And the emphasis is on team. Not many Springboks, but many players that do a job for him. And that is must.
So they got a hard-working squad. That a lot of people, they don't believe the hype about themselves. They just do their job. They just do your job.
Exactly.
There you go. But so Investec Cup this weekend. We'll let you know on Wednesday and on which games we're going to be doing exactly. Because there's only 2 South African teams. I'm not doing the other challenge league there with the Sharks.
We can take a look what lineup is up.
Yeah, because if there's cup lineups, I'm not doing. I'd rather do bloody Bath against, I don't know, Bristol Bears or something like that.
Yeah.
There you go. But that's the show for today. Anything else to add, my son?
Yes, I'd like to thank everybody in green in the chat. Those are our members, guys. Thanks so much for your support. Can't thank you enough, man.
I would like to thank SS, Stephen there, for a fantastic job he did on the weekend for us there in the stadium.
Stephen!
Very much appreciated. And that's me also signing out. Our next show is tomorrow morning, the Daily Sports Update show at 7 o'clock with me. And then in the evening, it's the European qualifiers, the qualifiers for the World Cup. The last 4 games, I'll be doing those. No Premier League predictions. That only starts next week because there's no Premier League this week. I'm out of here. Adios, amigos. Tot ziens.
Tot ziens.